we can't ignore the fact we come from a place which is dominated by a history of imperialism. To unload that, we have to know that history. By knowing that history and acknowledging it, we have the beginnings of the process of making amends for it.
Tonight we are celebrating Black History Month. The theme of Black History Month this year is reclaiming narratives, and we thought it would be a cool idea to be able to reclaim the narratives of Black history in Glasgow, because that's where our head office is. And we have the wonderful Graham Campbell who's come along to be able to take us through the streets of Glasgow and give us the insights and the stories of people who have walked before us and our history with the transatlantic slave trade, and really kind of shine a light on the full story of Black history in Glasgow.
My name is Cllr Graham Campbell. I am the chair of the Education Committee, probably better known as the chair of the Slavery and Colonial Legacy Working Group, campaigning around reparatory justice and slavery questions about Glasgow's history. Black history is everybody's history, but maybe everybody doesn't know that. The point about doing it in every October, as we've done since 1987 in the UK and since 2001 in Glasgow, is to remember that black people were part of Scotland's story, particularly in the colonial era, but also around the slavery era. We've got connections with Africa, the Caribbean, Asia, the Far East, India, the Indian subcontinent. We are very, very deeply embedded in all of those places because Scots went there. Those people came here.
Having a better understanding of where we came from and how that affected where we are today is important. I think a lot of people that are part of this community don't get the limelight that they should. They've done a lot of things that have benefited society and nobody really knows about it because it's often kind of cleared out from history. So I think this is important because it'll help people get a better understanding of why it's important.
Black and Asian people in particular, and Chinese people too, have been part of Scotland's story from the very start of Glasgow being a big city. Glasgow would never have been a big city without the trade in commodities produced by enslaved Africans. That is sugar, tobacco, cotton, and then later the colonial period and so on. We have all of these interactions, and Scottish people went there, and people like me with Scottish ancestry have these ancestries because Scots were there. Now that's difficult because it comes from a bad place, but what it means is that we're family, we're related.
We were in the recruitment game and the landscape's changing quite a lot. We really need to understand people who are maybe coming across as first generation to be able to understand their story, understand the culture of where they've come from and why it's important to them that they've moved to the UK and made that their home now. So things like this just makes you question things a little bit differently and just opens your eyes a little bit more to how different lives can be and how we can incorporate them into UK culture and that be an add to us rather than it being something that's an unknown.
I think it's very important that companies, as well as other civic bodies such as councils, universities, embrace the discomfort, but by embracing it, you begin to overcome. And that creates the possibility of doing so. And obviously, for business reasons, it's good for business because, of course, you have a global customer base, showing that you're open to those conversations, show that you have equal relations with the peoples of the rest of the world, but also when your people are here, that you want a diverse and representative workforce that has that connection to all those histories and stories. That's very valuable. That's a very valuable human resource, which is definitely good for your business.